In this video, you are going to learn how I created this final render. First, I needed an idea, so I started googling reference images and pasting them to a free software called PureRef. PureRef is an amazing software to study reference images. The link is in the description. After studying all of my reference images, I started working on the project. Okay, where do we start? First, I like to work on the sky and the lighting. So, I'm going to add some objects to my scene. Split up a new window from this corner. Change this to shader editor. Here, choose world settings. Add an environment texture node. Hit open. Then I'm going to open Kloppenheim 06 HDR from polyheaven.com. Plug the color into the color. Now, you can see that our HDR has nice clouds that can be used as a background but boring lights. To fix this, we are going to use a custom node setup. To do so, add a sky texture node. Duplicate the background with Shift-D, plug the color into the color, add a mix shader node, plug the sky texture's background into the first socket and the HDR's background to the second socket. Now, we have to remove the sky texture from the background. To do so, I'm going to use a node called Light Path node. Plug the Ease Camera Ray output into our factor. Now, you can see that our scenes are desmushed. We have to mice them. So, the easiest way that I found is using Shift and right-click where your HDR scene is located, then preview the sky texture, turn the strings down, play around the sun elevation. I'll turn mine to 6, then play around the sun rotation. The easiest way to spot your sun is by turning the sun intensity to 0. This will change your sun to black, so it is very easy to spot. Here, try to match your sun with the 3 cursor. Now, preview the HDR to determine the sun intensity of our HDR, then our sky texture. For now, I'll turn my sun intensity to 0.3. Preview our mix shader, and the lighting part is done. Now, I like to start creating the main desert. Hit Shift-A, add in a plane, scale it up 400 times. Hit Ctrl-A, apply rotation and scale, that is very crucial. Now, to fix these clipping issues, under View, under End, turn your End value to 100,000. Perfect. Jump over to your Edit mode, right-click, Subdivide, then I'll subdivide my mesh 200 times. Under our modifier's properties, add subdivision surface modifier. Enable adaptive subdivision, which is given by the experimental feature on the render settings. Split up a new window to create the materials. change this to shader editor, hit new desert. Then before doing anything, let's jump over to our material properties. Under settings, change the bump only to displacement and bump. I'm going to add a displacement node, a Voronoi texture node, plug the distance into our height. Select our Voronoi and hit Ctrl T to add a mapping setup. Then you can see that nothing happened on our viewport. That is because our scale is too small. So I'll turn my scale value to 15. Nice. Now you can see that they are too sharp. So change your Voronoi texture to smooth F1, which is the smoother version of F1. Now you can see that they are too smooth. So I'll turn my smoothing value to 0.01. Then I like to distort this texture, so I'm going to add an noise texture, play around the scale, the detail, the roughness, and the distortion. Add a mix node, change this to color, plug it between our location and our Voronoi, plug the factor into the B socket. Now you can see it is too intensified, so I'll turn my factor to 0.2. Here, I like to add a little bit of sharpness, so I'm going to add in a Voronoi texture node, plug the result into our vector, leave everything else as this, add a mix node, change this to color, plug the second Voronoi into the B socket, play around the factor. I'll turn mine to 0.05. Here, I used the same technique over and over again. But if you want to take your desert into the next level and interested in dedicated course, it is your lucky day, because I am teaching everything about this environment just for $5. So check the link in the description. After creating the main desert, I like to add some atmosphere to my scene. So I'm going to add in a cube, scale it up to cover the entire area. You can see it's obstructing our scene, so jump over to our object properties. Under viewport display, under display as, choose wire. Here, create a new material for it, remove the principal base dev, add a principal volume node, plug the volume into the volume. Now you can see it is super dense, so I'll turn my density to 0.0002. Then, to make it realistic, play around the anisotropy value. I'll turn mine to 0.5. And also don't forget to play around the color. So I choose orangish color. Specifically, I'm going to use the hex value of C8A482. After adding the atmosphere, I like to add some dust to my scene. I added a plane, rotate it on x-axis, scale it on x-axis to make it rectangular, then scale the whole thing up. Then create a new material. I'm going to add in a gradient texture node, add a mapping node setup, change this from linear to spherical, play around the scale value, and also you can duplicate the first mapping to stretch your texture. Here, add in a noise texture, plug the stretched mapping into our noise texture, add a color ramp to make it more contrasty, play around the scale, the detail, and the roughness. I'm going to use the scale value of 0.51, detail 3, roughness 0.55. Then I used different nodes to make it more realistic, and I scattered it using geometry node. After that, I like to add some bushes to my scene, so I scattered them using geometry node. Here on my geometry node setup, I used distribute point on faces node and instance points on face node. And I used bunch of masks to make my desert more realistic. After everything, I started rendering and compositing. I used Blender's compositor. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe my channel, like this video. Thank you very much.